Welcome to this presentation about Accreditation UK strategy. Your presenters are Liz McLaren, British Council.
Hewitt Japes, English UK.
Please take the next 15 minutes or so to view this video about the proposed developments in the accreditation scheme. You can then complete the survey by clicking the link that you were sent. Whether your language centre has been accredited for many years or only more recently, you're part of the world's leading accreditation scheme for ELT. The UK led the way in quality assurance of language schools, initially through the Department of Education. The UK was the first country to establish professional bodies for the ELT sector, and the British Council has been involved in accreditation since 1982. Working in partnership with sector associations, British Council accreditation has evolved and adapted over the years to become the largest national accrediting body in the world, covering all types of ELT provider. And in 2019, Accreditation UK accredits nearly 500 language centres, which facilitates visits to the UK by 550,000 students and helps generate approximately £1.4 billion for the UK economy.
So, why do we need to refresh the scheme? The scheme has led the way, establishing quality standards and inspection systems that have been adopted around the world. Our well-established procedures support centres in quality assurance. The Accredited by the British Council logo is recognised by agents and students globally. But the context continues to change, and so must the scheme. This slide shows the challenges we set ourselves when coming to review the scheme. These informed the work of the working parties that were set up to review the scheme and the key recommendations that emerged from those discussions. We will present these recommendations later.
The board agreed that overall our vision for the accreditation scheme was that Accreditation UK will be the preeminent global ELT accreditation scheme, which will add significant value to the business proposition of accredited providers and be the trusted brand for their customers, that it will be easy to engage with, move beyond compliance, support, drive and recognise excellence while being robust, relevant and agile.
Early in 2018, an English UK accreditation advisory group was formed to review our accreditation procedures. Many of the ideas arising from this group have subsequently been developed with participation from across the sector. So this slide shows you the time frame for this and the partners who've been involved in the scheme. So first of all, the Accreditation UK Advisory Group that I mentioned came up with some key ideas. These were reformulated and presented to the Accreditation UK Executive Board, and it was agreed that we would take these ideas together. Accreditation UK being, of course, the British Council and English UK as a joint partnership. Working parties were formed with those from across the accredited sector. And also a strategy refresh steering group was created in order to review the work of the working parties. They then made key recommendations about how the scheme could evolve. Others who have been consulted along the way include the Accreditation Scheme Advisory Committee and also the British Council inspectors themselves.
So, through face-to-face consultation and wide representation on the various working parties, we've been able to understand the challenges, identify the opportunities, and develop initial recommendations. We now want to brief all accredited providers on the proposals and give you the chance to comment before we take these ideas forward. The rest of this presentation will tell you a bit of the detail, and then you'll be able to give your feedback. 3 strands emerged from the initial meetings: reach, scheme and digital. We formed 3 separate working parties with separate terms of reference, who created a statement of approach and then met on several occasions to make initial recommendations. They were working to a set of underlying principles that were set by the board. Let's look at the details of some of the groups.
Okay, first of all, let's look at what the group that was looking at the reach of the scheme came up with. The Reach Working Party looked at the potential to extend the scheme to cover more locations and more modes of delivery. The board supported their recommendations that we retain the scheme's focus within the UK rather than broadening it out to other countries, but we should extend the scope of the scheme to include the growth in blended or online delivery. There are a couple of main scenarios where we think there will be some extension of the reach of the scheme. First of all, this could be for UK accredited centres offering an online or blended platform which they would like to be accredited alongside their face-to-face ELT programmes. Alternatively, it could be centres offering standalone online or blended programmes. So the next stage in the development would be to identify the size of the potential market for online and blended delivery, define the parameters for the types of programme we could accredit, and then develop a specific inspection process to meet these needs.
The Scheme Working Party was looking at the processes of inspection and the formation of the inspectorate. From the initial starting points and through a lot of subsequent discussion, this most complex area arrived at a number of different recommendations. The agreed aims are to help centres be inspection ready, move beyond compliance to focus on improvement and excellence, maintain engagement and quality between full inspections, reduce the need for a high proportion of long summer inspections, and allow self-evaluation to have a meaningful impact on the inspection cycle. Other recommendations coming out of the scheme working parties included these. These suggestions all focus on increasing the perceived value of accreditation and developing the support available to providers.
The third working group looked at the digitalisation of the scheme. This, in a sense, underpins the work of the other 2 working parties. Digitalisation of the administration of the scheme to reduce the need for manual processing is seen as the facilitator for a number of the other developments proposed. These would support ease of use, centres being inspection ready throughout the 4-year cycle of inspections, improving their administrative efficiency, and also providing access to data, for example, on key issues arising from a number of different inspections that centres might want to use in order to prepare their own timeframes and targets.
So what's in it for you? The proposals should help us to take the pressure off the one big single inspection at 4-year intervals and avoid the dips that happen in between by allowing increased contact points within the 4-year cycle. That will also have an impact on the spread of cost of inspection, enabling you to spread that through the budgeting period. Some of the evaluation process will be able to take place off-site, potentially shortening the length of on-site inspections. And effective implementation will enable us to conduct more targeted inspections. The process should help providers raise standards by receiving more timely feedback on your performance and to give you information to allow you to benchmark more effectively against your peers. Overall, there should be simplification and greater convenience and a better user experience. So, thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. If you would now like to take the short survey, please go back to the link that was sent to you. Thank you.
Thank you.